Peter Newbold is the GM of PGG Rights and Real Estate. Let's take a monthly look at the state of the rural market. Peter, with news this morning that Fonterra is lifting the payout and good returns for horticulture and sheep and beef properties in demand, are we seeing a sniff of the corporates coming back into investing in farming?
Yes, Jamie, we are. We're definitely seeing them come back into the game, those large farming entities. And just general individuals are seeing, I guess, farming or that rural sector as a good place to invest. And also what you're seeing is a lot of people have put it off over the last few years, but, their needs have changed or their succession things in play. So we're seeing a lot of activity, more than I've seen in a long time. And also we're seeing properties being sold. So for this time of the year, we're well ahead of what we'd normally be. And I've just got a feeling that we're going to see a really strong run to Christmas when I look at all the campaigns that are in play and the amount of purchases out there at the moment.
Well, investing in farming has now become a yield story, and it quite rightly too, rather than a capital gains story. David Parker is, of course, doing his best to encourage people out of farming, so there's probably no shortage of people who would like to get out if they can get their money.
Yeah, well, you're right. And I think the other thing we're seeing at the moment is that, I don't know, there seems to be a softening in the approach as far as money available to invest in that sector. That's what we're seeing through. And the other thing which I think sends a clear sign to me about activity is we're starting to see some of those properties in that, say, 7 to 12 million bracket, which have been not moving in the past, are now starting to gain some momentum. So the whole market is really in a good position. And there's lots of opportunities out there. And, even if I go to horticulture, a bit slow to start, now that's gaining momentum.
Yeah, well, I reckon if I was going to pick a sector to invest in, unfortunately, it probably wouldn't be dairy or sheep and beef. I think I'd buy a kiwi fruit farm. There you go.
Yeah, look, the problem is there's probably a waiting list of, a lot wanting to get into that area. But, I just recently, I was looking at some of the sheep and beef that have sold. If you're purchasing at the right value, then there's a good return in that in that sector. And dairy is one we know about that. Again, we're just starting to see people are showing interest in that sector again, which I think is really good after all the knocks they've had.
Exactly, and I keep using the word. It's all about yield at the moment, and you look at property prices around the country, especially for residential property, and the return you can get on that as a rental proposition. Well, maybe farmland might be a better bet. Who knows? All right. Hey, listen, our property of the week is a stunner in Greta Valley. This is a property that you've said if you won lotto, you would go and buy.
Yeah, look, it's an amazing property, and it's interesting. We've had a few of these come up over the last couple of months, but they don't often come to the market. This is the first time in 100 years, and it's one of those properties that's got a beautiful home on it. It's been well maintained. It's got that critical mass, 790 hectares, good part of the country. It's just one of those sort of primo properties that seldom come to the market, and so it's just unique. In so many features.
Well, Greta Valley, just north of Waipara there in North Canterbury. Is it on the main state highway as you go to Kokura?
Yeah, it is. It's on the main highway there, and anyone who's familiar with that part of the world would know this property. I think actually outside, the wider Canterbury would know this property. It's well known and highly regarded by everybody.
So you can have a look at that property on our website, thecountry.co.nz. Click on Rural Properties. How's the property market? Final question for you, Peter, because you're in Christchurch today, but you're based in Central Otago and Gibbston Valley there. Well, what's happening with the Queenstown property market at the moment? When am I going to get my bargain buy?
To be brutally honest, I don't think you get a bargain buy now. And I don't think it's just in Queenstown, but that the property market has definitely surged ahead. I think a lot of people are looking for a place to invest. And they see property as a safe place. And I've always said to people, if you're in for the long haul, it doesn't matter if you pay a little bit extra, if you know what I mean. So, look, the demand is high. At the moment, you can't see any reason why it's going to slow up. That's my opinion.
Peter Newbold there, a bloke who knows a thing or two about the real estate market. Go and have a look at our property of the week. It's a stunner in Greta Valley. Peter, we'll catch you again next month, onwards and upwards for the rural real estate sector.
Yeah, no, it's really positive, and thanks, Jamie, and have a good day.